Everett, if we don't have a new song by this intro,
I
that's
will
going to sound
comment.
pretty awkward. We're going to
Yeah.
be like, oh, wow, did you like the new music? There's nothing there. Wait, what if they're really... Would that actually be pretty funny? We put no music in and pretend like there was music?
No, I don't like that at all. Scrap it all.
Gaslight our listeners. Do you like our new intro music? We just got a new song thanks to our new producer, Everett. Well, I haven't either. I'm just imagining it's pretty good. So, anyway, if you haven't noticed, there's a couple sonic changes that have come to the show. For example, I had to put a sock on my mic now because Everett said that's a good idea, and it looks like I had to put a little condom on it.
He rolled it over the mic, which is already phallic shaped. But
Why does everything have to look like a dick?
I don't know. Speaking of looking like a dick. Oh, you were gonna do it.
No, do it.
Okay, we did not plan that. I was so excited about Pierre Maguire that I requested that we do a mini episode. It was going to be a part of this, but then it was too much. So stay tuned, and there's a special Pierre Maguire episode upcoming, and it's actually... You'll be surprised. He's a very interesting dude. That's all.
I need to know like what inspired this. Like, what point did you wake up and you were like possessed by the ghost of Pierre?
Well, you'll hear in the interview, but my current Twitter picture is Pierre Maguire as a robot, and that's been inspiring me because every time I look at my tweets, I'm like, oh, I wish I was Pierre. I wish I was him. So then I was like, okay, what is he up to? You know. It's on my mind every day, and I always forget to Google. I'm like, what the fuck is Pierre Maguire up to? And then I finally decided to figure it out. So that's what.
So we'll be doing some lore episodes here and there based off of that. And this is our first of what I imagine will be many. These are people that we tend to hyperfixate on and focus way too much of our energy on. So Pierre, congratulations. You're the first one on our list. If you like what you heard and you want to learn more about it, feel free to check out the bonus episode. And Pierre, come on to the show if you want to talk about it. Hit us up. So I'm looking at our show notes right now, and half of them is Pierre related, but it looks
relax.
In non-Pierre Maguire related news, we should talk about the Detroit sports update.
Where do we even start, man?
Yeah, looks like some things have happened. The
Jake,
Chicago Bears
transpires.
The Chicago Bears have traded their first overall pick for a lot. They got
a lot. They got, I think, 2 first rounds, 2 second rounds, and
DJ
Moore. Yeah, they honestly came out as winners. But when listen carefully. This is a Mads the Stallion approved money line. The line
Mads.
Money Mads. Money Mommy Mads. Mommy Money Mads. Mads the Money Mommy? Anyway.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, sick. Lions will win the division next season. You heard it here first. I have put some money down on this. And usually I'm saying, as everybody's parents and grandparents from Michigan will tell you, you do not put your money on the Lions. But if last season has proved anything, these are not our same old Lions. So that's my prediction. Lions are 1, going to win the division next season, and 2, I'm probably going to get season tickets. So I'm stoked.
If that thing that I was telling you about happens, then you might not be the only one getting season tickets.
It's like, you know what you're doing by saying that thing? It's like everybody listening. It's like, hey, this is a secret. And you don't get to know it.
Actually, you know what? I said the quiet part out loud. But anyway, there is like a 90% chance I'm moving back to Detroit.
Yahoo. Should be a 99%.
And it'll be in August, so it'll be right around the time that the Lions are going to get started. And
Jake and I are about to tear the city up. And Jake and I, 313 Hockey Business Expense, are going to get Red Wings season tickets next season, too.
I'm in. Say no more. Once I get paid enough. Anyway, so... Did you see the Matt Stafford news? I know you like Matt Stafford.
I love that man. He's also on that list.
Is he? Wait, where's he on the ranking?
He might be number 10.
Somebody texted me
Ironically.
the other day and asked me about the list, like
Who?
specifically, and they were like, "Is insert person here on the list?" And I was
On
like,
my list of men who are
"Yeah,
good?
on your list of men."
Who texted you that?
I have to look it up. It was
What the
I'm gonna
fuck?
have to go through my text. Somebody was listening to our podcast and they said, "Is my name on Maddie's list?"
Who?
I don't remember. I'll try to find it. Anyway,
Did they send it to the 313 account or to you?
maybe they did. Maybe I don't know. Like I said, I feel like I'm like bewildered today, like trying to catch up on this. Did
Both
Nick
of us?
Alberga make the list?
He did not. And I actually had someone else listen to that Nick Alberga interview and have to turn it off because the vibes were so bad. And I listened to it again and it's a fever dream.
Why were the vibes bad?
Cuz the dude just talks about himself the whole time and essentially like didn't really answer the questions and like I don't know.
You know what he did do though? He appreciated that we got to let him on the show to defend himself,
That's what I'm saying.
and he also has 11 years of experience doing this.
12.
Oh,
How do you
God,
not know that?
I guess I don't really care. Like it's
Well,
not an important thing
you
to me.
Jake's the kind of hoe to like nod and smile and like engage, but then he's like, I don't really care.
Listen. I'm all about letting people talk and say what they will. But
Yeah.
if you have to keep reminding me how many years you've worked in a field or like how much money you make, I'm gonna tune out
Or
naturally.
like,
You know?
oh, and I worked for the Lightning, that's why I have this signed jersey, and
Yeah,
like
and
talk
it's
about
like,
his beer league
uh-huh,
or like his
okay.
house league hockey like lore. I was like, bro.
No, he owned a guy on Twitter because he had
No,
his trophy.
I know. I
Anyway,
trust me.
we're getting way too. Let's talk about Matt Stafford. Apparently, LA wants to get rid of him.
Fuck them. They don't appreciate him like I do.
So, would you say the Lions won the trade?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
But
that would.
I also feel like Matt Stafford won the trade because he did what he had to do.
Yeah, he got a
won it
Super Bowl,
all.
and you know what?
Got a
He can
Super
come
Bowl.
home once his contract is up, and win us another Super Bowl.
For this season, would you rather have Matt Stafford or Jared Goff?
I want Jared Goff. Like, I'm sorry, I
Man,
hate to
that
say it.
offense.
I like Matt Stafford, the vibe, but like last
What
year
is
he was injured so much that I'm like,
right?
what are you like now? What are we?
Take Jared Goff and give him Matty Stafford vibes.
Yes, I could be into that.
Speaking of X Lions coming back, there has been a lot of speculation on Lions Twitter because Darius Slay
I saw.
might. Well, I don't know
And
if he's going to come back, but he can.
Lions legend Kenny Galladay is a free agent too.
I like Kenny Galladay
He was terrible with the Giants. So bad.
so bad. They hate him.
So bad.
9 out of 10
All of my
Vikings
Giants
hate
friends are
him.
very upset by him.
That's how my Vikings fans feel about TJ Hawkinson. Anyway, let's
Well,
not get back into us being a Lions podcast because I could
yeah.
go on forever.
I have one more podcast question about, or one more Lions related question.
Oh
One more.
God, I can't even skedaddle out of this one.
Lamar Jackson.
Here we
Would
go.
would you?
Like fuck him or have him on the Lions? No
You
and
can answer
yes.
which one you want. Yeah,
No and yes.
it's a good answer.
Thank
I'm
you.
into that too.
Thank you.
I'd probably go with the same answers. The Pistons are really bad.
I wrote B-ball. Here are my notes. March Madness. Michigan sucks dig.
Oh my God, MSU is back, aren't they? They Tom Izzo broke a record. He has like the most consecutive playoff appearances
Well,
in the
Tom
history
Izzo.
of college basketball.
Okay, you're a Sparty fan today.
Yeah, sorry, I had to do it to him. But I think I'm more of a Coach K hater than I am like a Sparty lover. And I don't hate Coach K. I don't really
What does
like,
that
give a
have
shit
to
about
do
him.
with it?
Because he was the one who held the record before Tom Izzo broke it.
Oh, okay.
It's not that I hate Coach K, because I really don't. But he's kind of like how the media covers like Michael Jordan, where it's just constant. They just will not shut up about him.
It's not anymore. I feel like 10 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, people
I
still talk
haven't
about
heard
like,
anything about him in a while.
or like I don't want to say LeBron, because they've actually kind of chilled on
They've
LeBron a little
chilled
bit
on
too.
LeBron. Yeah.
Who do you think the next big athlete that people are going to talk about all the time is? Patrick Mahomes. It's probably going to be Pat Mahomes.
I'm thinking. I don't know. It's hard. Maybe.
Because there's not a big enough personality in hockey. There's
there's
nothing
kinda feel
baseball
like
wise. Baseball's not like a star player game.
it was like for guys like A-Rod.
Yeah, but
I don't know. It's hard to say. Whenever the next good guy in the NBA comes out, I feel like NBA players more than other sports get that kind of treatment now.
I mean, yeah, it's like it's mostly more about the players than it is about like the teams.
Yeah.
Like
But
more for the most part, people follow players. Like me, I follow Kyrie Irving because I don't watch him play basketball, but sometimes the thing he says on the media. No, I'm just kidding.
Jesus Christ. And then my other
Um,
note about basketball is just about how bad the Pistons, like, I can't remember the Pistons being this bad in a while. Like, this is so bad.
but I mean, like you got to imagine, there's I think
Suffering.
8 people on their roster are injured. Like
Yeah,
that's more
it's
than half of the
insane,
roster. So it's like
but
not
it's
even
so bad.
like James Wiseman though. He's really good.
Yeah, I'm glad we got him.
He's been a good surprise. All right, and then the
Speaking
other
of
b-ball,
surprises,
baseball.
yeah,
Is it
b-ball is
starting
soon.
soon?
Dude, you literally text me. You're like, "Let's go to
No.
opening day." I'm like, "Okay," and you're like, "Oh, isn't it like in a few weeks?" I'm like, "Yeah, like their season is starting." So just anyone listening, the season starts, and I believe the Tigers' first game is March 30th, but they do not play at home until April 6th.
If they played at home, you'd catch me on that opening day because I heard it is a special experience.
It is like nothing I have ever experienced. Like opening day in Detroit is truly a holiday. Like my not only is it celebrated, my like landlord gave me like Tigers cookies and like a postcard that said "Go Tigers," and like all of my neighbors got that too. Like we are right next to Comerica, but like everybody in the streets is just like stoked and drunk, and it's cool to be drunk at like 1 p.m. and everybody's like cheering. Oh, opening day in Detroit is something that I will continue to miss work for every year until I'm dead.
It like I wanted to go so bad
You
last
should
year
go this year.
and the year before, but I'm only going to be in Detroit for that prior week
Just
slash
stay a little
days.
bit longer.
But then who's going to watch my poor cat?
Anyone listening, if you can watch Jake's poor and adorable cat Jimmy, please, and you live in Pittsburgh,
Help us.
we'll figure it out.
We're
But
hungry.
yeah, opening day in Detroit is something.
I noticed you wrote Motor City Rockers in caps.
Oh
You want
yeah.
to talk about that?
Oh, I want to talk about the Motor City Rockers.
Break
Yeah.
it down for us.
Well, I talked about them a little bit on my solo episode, aka my worst nightmare. But they are a low level hockey team. They play out of Fraser, Michigan. They rock, and
I mean, the name says it all.
I am taking you to a Motor City Rockers game on your birthday on April 1st.
I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
Sarah Siv, friend of the show,
Yeah.
wanted to go to a Rockers game next time she's in Detroit with us.
hmm
So we'll hit her up. Sarah, if you're listening, hit us up.
Tell her to come April 1st for Jake's B-Day.
Come on April 1st for my birthday. I guess we should talk about the Wings. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like now that it's like post trade deadline and we know where the Wings stand, I feel like I'm at like closing time at a party where like everybody's starting to go home with each other.
Right.
And the Wings are just kind of sitting there like, okay, I'm a little too drunk to drive. I don't want to walk back to my house. It's too far away. So I got to wait on the Uber.
You get caught in a Teletubby suit.
Yeah. So you're waiting on the Uber.
We're looking at you, Riley Cheyenne.
Oh, rip. Yeah, we're right now where the Wings stand is the party's coming to an end. They're waiting for an Uber, but the queue is so long that you're just kind of like
the queue.
You order an Uber and it's like, oh, you're 5 cars away. Fuck you. So we're waiting for the car. The party's come, like I said, slowing down. They're playing some of the more annoying songs to try to get people out. Yep. And at the back of your mind, you can hear the song "Closing Time" about to start, and everybody's going to get kicked out of the house.
Should we do a Red Wings edition?
That was the Red Wings edition.
That was a terrible Red Wings edition.
Fuck you. Tried hard on that one.
No, I just mean like a song. It was.
Oh.
That's what
closing time. You're not going to the playoffs.
Yes,
so
thank
get
you.
the hell off of the ice.
I don't know what our strategy is.
Are we rebuilding or is this it? That's good. I'm glad we like totally turned that around too.
You're like, fuck you. Fuck you, Harley Jarvis.
Speaking of which, it's coming back.
May 30th. I think you
May
should watch
30th.
season 3, folks. If you haven't
National
watched it on
holiday.
Netflix, you gotta watch it.
I'm gonna watch Detroiters. I heard that's
Detroiters
a really
is
funny
so
show.
funny. Yeah.
I saw a clip of one, Springtime in the D, and I thought that was so funny.
If you like I Think You Should Leave, you're gonna like Detroiters. And it's funny
Excellent.
and cool because it's like, it's in Detroit. It's fucking sweet. It actually is in Detroit.
Speaking of things that are actually in Detroit, actually
Yeah.
these things are not in Detroit. Let's talk a little bit about the prospects.
Okay.
Let's talk about how this season's gone from an exciting standpoint.
Mhm.
Because, look, if we're going to talk about these last few games for the Wings, a lot of them are kind of miserable. A lot of them kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But there are positive things to be had, especially with our prospect pool. Simon Edvinsson, our main man, the hero, somebody who, please God, please, please, please save our defense, please, please, has more points this season in fewer games in Grand Rapids than Mo Seider did when he was in Grand Rapids. That's pretty encouraging. I would say that's a good thing. And apparently he's been a pretty darn good defenseman too. Like they
I
said,
would say that's a good thing.
Unpopular opinion. I think that was a good call.
I think something here is telling me, I know I'm a woman and I shouldn't be talking about sports, but I do think him scoring points is a good thing. Jake, can you weigh in on this as
Look, as not only am I a man, but I'm also an ally. I stand up for marginalized voices, which is why I offered Maddie a couple seconds to speak. And I think what Maddie's saying is correct, but I'm going to say it in a louder and more masculine voice so that other people will accept it. Simon Edvinsson has more points than Moritz Seider in fewer games in Grand Rapids.
What does that mean?
I'm sure, like, you guys might be looking at that and going, okay, these are numbers. This is really hard. I don't understand it. But what I need you to know is that more numbers are good. So that means because he has a lot of numbers and more numbers than Seider, I think that's a good sign.
Speaking of good signs, Albert Johansson, quietly a good sign this season.
Yeah, he's been very under the radar, but he's got nice vibes.
Vibe check?
Vibe check? Yeah, I think he passes. Do you think so next season, the defensive core is losing 2 Titans. No, 3
Ew.
Titans. 3 enormous names who will leave very large holes in their wake.
This is a joke.
Gus Lindstrom.
Yeah.
Robert Hagg.
Yep.
Jordan Osterley.
Oh, that's like my wet dream, is all 3 of them getting off the roster.
So say they're all gone.
Thank God. I'm not going to kill myself after all.
So the people that are signed are Seider, Olimata,
yes,
Jake Wallman, Ben Chirot.
Oh, fuck.
There are 2 spots now that are open. Do you think they fill one in free agency, or do you think they try to fill them both with the young boys?
Little buff boys. Well, I think recently Yzerman was asked about Edvinsson coming up, and he said it's all up to him. He has to prove it. So I think the expectation, based on how I feel like everyone in the office has been talking, is that he gets there and he proves himself and he is able to play, because otherwise I will be very upset. But I will also be very upset if we are still in the situation that we are currently in as we go to free agency in the summer without
Too good to be bad, too bad to be good.
Well, that, but no, just specifically talking about our defensive core, I really am nervous and would like, I said in, I think maybe the last 2 episodes, hopefully Stevie will use some of those draft picks that we got and we can snag a defenseman.
Or use the cap space to sign somebody. Other prospects. Marco Kasper
won
an award with Robo.
him on my team. Oh my God, he is a beast right now.
he's a little motherfucker, man. He wound up winning what's called the Granite Puck Award, and this is
Hmm.
I think it's the first of its kind award with Rogla, his SHL team,
Hmm.
and it basically just goes to like the guy who represents the Rogla spirit. So you got to be like tough as nails and like a mean motherfucker. And Casper won it.
Yep.
And if you watch him play, you'll understand why. The dude hits as hard as he like sets up, goals. He's smart and shifty on the ice, but he also is like good at getting under people's skin. Like if Brad Marchand was a center.
Yeah, I think all of us expect, talking about prospects and expectations for next season. I think there's also a hope that we can see a little bit of Casper next season. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I'm very into that. I really hope that Carter Mazer comes too. I really
Carter
dig
Mazer
Carter
too,
Mazer.
and we talked about the Wings being soft, and I think both of those guys, if they hopefully can do the same thing for the Wings, will be able to add a little bit of grit to the team. I don't know why it's so weird for me to talk seriously and we're not making jokes about it. It's like weird.
You know what else is weird is
What?
everybody kept saying like, and I think we did talk a little bit about this last week, but people were like, "Oh, Bertuzzi makes this team tough. Bertuzzi's the only one who isn't soft on this team." And I kept thinking about it, and I'm like, really? Because when Bertuzzi's on the ice, they were still getting dummied. Like, I
Right.
think he
I
he
said the
does have
same
some.
thing.
Yeah, he does have like a little bit of toughness, but there needs to be more of that consistent message throughout the whole team. We can't have Brady Kachuk walking around inbreeding right in front of us. He pulled out his baby dick
Oh,
and
here we go with
jacked it
the
off in
baby
front of
dicks
all of
again.
us.
For people who don't know, Jake is a huge baby dick observer, and he loves to watch other guys'
We
baby
will
dick
continue
comebacks.
to raise the kids, but I will not respect you, and I will teach our kids not to either.
Oh my
That's how
god!
I felt. That's how I felt when I watched like Larkin not stand up to Brady Kachuk.
Yeah.
It hurt. Speaking of things that hurt, the Kraken game
Damn, we're just getting right into it, eh?
was not very fun.
Jake's comments. Meh.
I wrote mid also, and then not very good or not ideal. Yeah, mid, etc. Not
This is
ideal.
this is like you saying it's good to have more points.
This is my hard hitting analysis coming to you live from 313 Hockey. It helps when your team scores goals. If only they knew that when they were in Seattle. Because what is this?
It helps when your team wins.
Unpopular opinion, but I think hockey's more fun when your team wins.
Unpopular opinion, but we should bring Hockey Town back to center ice.
I don't understand in all my years why we don't have it on center ice
Why
again.
don't we have the Red Wings logo on top of Little Caesars right now?
Do you think it costs more money to have the Hockey Town logo on center ice and that Chris Ilitch is
No,
just doesn't feel like paying for it?
that's
Sorry, Chris Ilitch, friend of the show. I have to
you have to
clarify.
give him the full title. Otherwise, people wouldn't even know who he is.
We're like how Stephen A. Smith is always like, I'm Gary Bettman is my very good friend.
Oh
Like,
yeah, my
that-
grandpa does that when talking about Barack Obama.
Why?
Because all of us, like his grandkids, liked Obama and he didn't. So he's like,
So you
your,
could use
your friend Obama, and it's been that way since 2008.
my dad calls Joe Biden your guy to me.
There you go. See, it's the
Yeah.
same thing. It's
And
the
I'm like, I don't
same
even like
thing.
Joe Biden. Why are you
No,
saying
he's your
that? Like,
guy. He's your
he's
fucking
your guy.
That's your guy. That's speaking of
So
your
who's
guy,
the your guy for the Red Wings? Yeah, like that's your guy. That's I know
Ernie
who it
for
is.
us. When
I
people
know who
talk
it is
about
for
our
everybody else.
when people talk about our podcast, they know that Ernie's our guy.
Mm-hmm.
What were you
And I
gonna
know
say?
what Wings Twitter is going to call like whenever he makes a
Zadina.
bad mistake, which he did quite often these last few games. That's your
Zadina.
guy. That's your guy.
That's how I feel talking to everybody. I'm like, yep, that's your fucking guy.
Mm-hmm.
Filling the fucking net with pucks.
But anyway, that's we'll get to that in a second. But
Yeah.
for now, let's talk about this Kraken game because it wasn't fun. I didn't like watching it. I actually turned it off at one point because I was just so like
I
whelmed.
wish I had that willpower, but I can't. I just
you got that humiliation thing going on.
I really don't.
You're like, oh, I just love to watch my favorite team get destroyed. No, it's not humiliation. It's
Degradation.
masochism.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you were like a monk in medieval England or medieval Europe, you'd be the dudes who like whip themselves on the back to get rid of the plague. Like they're like, God is punishing us. That would be you. Gary Bettman is punishing us.
That's how Wings fans feel when we like if you read Twitter and they talk about the refs. That's Wings fans whipping themselves. God is punishing us. They're whipping their backs.
Literally every Wings fan on Twitter is like a martyr for this team.
It's
They're like,
insane.
why? Like they
Like,
miss like an obvious call, and it's like,
the league hates us. We
The
would
league
have
hates
we would have clinched for the playoffs had it not have been for the refs this season.
I want to do one of those, like, you know those tweets that you'll see where it's like, the Chiefs road to a Mickey Mouse Super Bowl, and it's like, oh, injured player here, injured player there. Like, I want to, they come up with like a list of excuses that
Okay.
invalidate like the team winning
Why
something.
is it called Mickey Mouse?
The initial term came from the Bubble League, the
Okay.
NBA like Bubble League, where
Yeah.
I forget what team won, but they called it a Mickey Mouse ring because it was all played in Orlando, Florida during COVID.
Okay.
So that's what we're calling it. That's the team. Anytime like a team has won like an allegedly like suspect championship, which I don't think really ever happens, they call it a Mickey Mouse win.
Something just to break.
Break the news.
I reached out to Cider's dad about coming on the podcast, and he just messaged back that he'd like to come on.
Let's go.
But he wants to do it in German. He said his English isn't good.
Okay, cool. Can we do the recording and then you translate it into English afterwards?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm so excited, dude.
We have fun content coming for you guys soon.
Are you gonna leave this in or cut it out?
Yeah, we should leave it in. That's great news.
Okay, cool. Everybody's getting scooped. Moritz Cider's dad is coming on the podcast.
313 Hockey is bringing in more insider information.
He's never done an interview, I don't think.
That's right. First of its kind, groundbreaking interview.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited for us, and I'm excited for K Cider, and I'm excited for all of our fans that get to listen to it. We love you, 313 Hockey. But you know what we don't love?
Jake's a psyop. What don't
the
we
Chicago
love?
Blackhawks.
We hate the Blackhawks in this household.
There was not only a win for the Red Wings, but a win for women around the world. On the International Birthday of Women, the Chicago Blackhawks, the creepiest, sketchiest, greasiest team in the NHL, had their asses handed to them by the Detroit Red Wings.
By women.
The good guys of the world. Unfortunately, like any big final battle, sacrifices were made.
Oh, rest in peace, Robbie Fabry's knee.
Robbie Fabry hurt his knee again. Now, for anybody unfamiliar, this is the Robbie Fabry has suffered 3.
Do we actually know it's his knee?
No. Well, it's a lower body injury, but I think he like landed on his knee, or it had to do like the injury was sustained at his knee. And the problem is that this is a knee. These knees are like made of glass and like scrap metal at this point. Like,
but let's not speculate that it's his knee. Also,
no. It's the video of the injury of him getting injured where he landed on his knee. So it's not confirmed that it's his knee, but if it is his knee, like that's a bad thing. Any lower body injury in general,
that's a bad thing.
He tore his ACL on his left leg twice,
and then the right
knee once. Yeah.
No, but the good thing is we have reason to be optimistic. The team said he should be back soon, so I'm feeling.
I hope he comes back. But if it is like that level of injury, like if I'm Fabry, I gotta start thinking about the future, man. Like, Zetterberg talks about like how he played with that like back injury for the last few years of his career, and he said like he still feels the pain now.
So you were gonna give Robbie Fabry the old yeller?
I'm worried we're gonna have to old yeller him. Robbie Fabry's gonna cross the Rainbow Bridge.
No, Robbie, run! Robbie, go back to Ontario immediately. They're coming for you.
You can still play hockey, buddy. It's okay. Look at him. He's still out there. He's still
distract him. Jingle your keys, Robbie.
He's on second wind. All the best though to Robbie Fabry, and I hope his recovery is very quick.
Yeah, I hope he comes back soon. I miss him. He's a good guy, and he now, you know what I realized once.
What's that?
Once we made those moves in the trade deadline, like the overall team dental health and structure
Oh my
improved
god, the bell
greatly.
curve like shot up in a different
Right.
direction.
So Fabry was like the last one holding it together, and now he's out too. So now everybody has perfect teeth. I don't know what's going on.
Oh my god, yeah, because Bert broke the bell curve in the opposite direction,
But
obviously,
then we also had Sunny.
and Sonny too.
Yeah. So
Um, I actually did not watch the first Bruins game. Did you?
yes, of course I did.
That
And was that bitchy?
the main reason why I didn't watch it is because I kind of worried that they were gonna just stomp on the Wings.
I know. I had to see it with my own eyes, but now that they've played 2 games, so we're recording, like, directly after the Bruins game here in Detroit, I feel a little bit like if I had balls, they'd be tickled right now. Like, I feel like that felt like a playoff series, and the Wings could hold their own. We won today, 5-3, and yesterday we didn't win, but they held their own for sure, and it made me, like, a little bit mad that they're doing that now because the Bruins are very obviously the best team in hockey right now, and we
Yeah, I kind of
fit.
like that we are one of the Red Wings are one of 10 teams
Yep.
to beat the Boston Bruins this season. And
Yep.
that is a rare feat. I mean, the Boston literally like during that win against Detroit, like in the first game, they were the fastest team to reach 50 wins in the history of the NHL. So this
I thought it
like
was 80 wins.
I don't know,
Oh,
it's
wait,
not they're
no, they
yeah,
haven't even.
yeah, so they're the fastest team to reach that and they clinched the playoffs, I think. This team is pretty much like the gold standard of like what you want your team to be in the regular season. So the fact that
Right.
we managed to get a win against that is very very
And
encouraging.
a competitive game yesterday despite that.
Yeah, they tried they fought their asses off, and I think that paid off. It was really weird to hear hear Bertuzzi's name called on the like by
Yeah,
the announcers, and
terrible. That made
not
me
have him be
ill.
with us.
And then
He's been on a
today
tear with them too.
I know, of course. I mean, it's like it's honestly, it's like, you ever hear about stories when people have to like give away their dog and then they go back to see the dog like a few months later and the dog doesn't remember them? Kind of.
Oh, I've never heard that. That's so sad.
Oh, I mean, it almost feels like that, but then, like, for example, today and yesterday, like, he's still messing with, like, his buddies on the wings and, like, checked on Mo yesterday when he got hit by the puck, which was very cute.
That's
But
precious.
it is
Yeah,
precious.
you know what? I gotta say, like, as far as team vibes go, like the Bruins actually have like pretty good vibes from like a player standpoint. Besides my new enemy, Brad Marchand.
Yeah,
Um,
he's been my enemy. I don't know what do you mean that I
I
mean,
hate him now. Well, like so for example, when Mo got kind of hurt last game,
yeah,
immediately they all went over to check in on him. There wasn't any like shit talking, any like weird vibes. Like I what I will admire about Boston is like Patrice Bergeron is probably like one of the best captains in hockey.
yeah.
He's
Fine,
like
I'll give
always
them
checking
that.
in on everybody. Yeah.
I'll give them that.
However, Brad Marchand, you are now on the 313 hockey watch list.
He's been on the watch list.
I used to like you, but now I don't like you anymore. I hate you, Brad.
Fuck
Brad
you,
Marchand,
Brad.
in an interview with ESPN, said first he said that this
You're so
I'm
flustered.
so flustered. Yeah.
All right, it's okay.
So in the
Take a deep breath.
initial
Take a deep breath.
in an initial interview, Brad Marchand said that a lot of players don't want to go to the All-Star game if it's in cities like Seattle, Edmonton, or Detroit. Now, I can agree with that because, you're an athlete, you're making, you don't want to spend your like vacation time at some cold city. However, the All-Star game isn't about you. It is about the fans. It is about the young kids who go to the game and they get to meet their like all-time favorite players and see how they like, play the lamest game of all time against each other. In a later interview, he was asked to clarify on his comments. I believe this happened this last week. And Brad Marchand said, "Oh, yeah, no, I didn't mean anything by that. Like, those places are still fine. Like, Seattle has a great skyline. Edmonton has hunting, and I really like that. And Detroit, well, Detroit's suspect." Brad, I
Yeah.
have a question. What do you mean by that? What do you mean suspect? I noticed that there are certain differences in Seattle's population and Edmonton's population than, say, Detroit's population. What about Detroit is suspect to you? Why is it that you are so worried about Detroit if you're thinking about it from like a crime standpoint, you're a millionaire. You're staying in one of the nicest hotels in the country. Why don't you say those things about St. Louis or Chicago? Curious, Brad. I have many questions for you. Come on to the
Come
show
on,
and let's
three one
talk
three
about
hockey podcast.
it.
You know what's
Trevor Sean?
suspect, Jake?
What?
I'll tell you what's suspect. The best team in hockey coming to Detroit, Michigan, and losing to the Red Wings.
I guess they got robbed of a win there. Oh, I bet it was really
Oh,
suspect that
and a cop came at
a
the
cop
end
was
to
the one
shut
who
it
shot
down.
it down.
Yep. Interesting.
Curious, Brad. Let's not whatever you guys do. Don't look up what hat Brad was wearing during the pregame celebrations at the first game.
What was he wearing?
It was a hat with a interesting flag
terrible.
on it. Yeah,
Terrible.
And then I realized, that is why Brad doesn't like Detroit. That explains a lot.
Yep. I mean, are you surprised? The fact that you're surprised is astonishing to me.
What I was more surprised by was, so today was like a TNT broadcast, right?
Yes, as was yesterday.
Is it just me, or did like the media have just like the craziest hard on for Boston?
Well, yeah, like, of course.
That dude, when Detroit scored the final goal tonight, when like Copp got the empty netter, that guy was just crestfallen.
Upset.
He was so upset. He's like,
oh fuck!
Looks like the Red Wings hold on. I'm like, oh, honey, here's a tissue, buddy. Oh no, he already had tissues by him after he was blowing his load for Brad Marchand in that first period.
So he doesn't come into the condom, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, good point. Can we talk a little bit about, speaking of things not coming
into the condom?
Zadina. Yeah.
Is that what you were gonna say about things not coming?
He had a breakaway in today's game.
He did a backhand on a breakaway too.
And everybody was like replying to me, and they're all mad. They're like, "It's the only thing he could do," and I'm like,
saying that.
I'm thinking to myself, like, I know the defender was kind of blocking off part of the lane. However, if I were Zadina, I simply would have done a spinorama trick shot between my legs and resulted
and then
in
a backflip.
And then a backflip. Come on, like, it can't be that hard.
Yeah, seriously.
Maybe do 3. Like, come on. Connor McDavid can do that shit all the time. You were supposed to be filling the net with pucks, bro. And somebody was mad because earlier in that game, Seider had a shorthanded backhand.
Oh my god, that Seider goal.
It's okay. It's okay when Seider does it, but if it's a player that I personally am trying to build a narrative against, you guys are not allowed to criticize that.
But we both agreed that we would give him until the end of the season. But honestly, that breakaway was it for me. Not only that breakaway, but like this entire game and the last game. Like, the dude cannot score a goal.
Listen, Zadina lovers, I go to therapy now. That means I'm in touch with this thing called empathy. You should look it up sometime.
What was last episode's name?
Delusion World.
Yeah, that's where they live.
Maybe you should stop booking tickets to Delusion World and head down to Reality Avenue.
Reality Rally.
The School of Hard Knocks is on this street.
Oh God.
You ever argue with someone on Facebook in like 2010?
No. Oh, in 2010, yes.
And like you look at their profile and it's like graduated from the School of Hard Knocks.
No, and then you know where else they went? Balso Hard University.
Balso Hard University?
Yeah, that's usually like a 2-1 combo.
Can I read you a good Mo Seider quote about this game?
Please.
Moritz Seider said the trade deadline, losing 2 big players and even better friends took an emotional toll on the Red Wings. But I think it's even more fun without winning without those guys, just to show how much character's in that locker room.
Wow.
He unfurled
Future captain Moritz Seider.
Chad.
He is a Chad.
Energy.
Oh wait, can I review a quote from Moritz Seider after this game? Okay, and I quote, "I am so happy that my dad has the opportunity to go onto the 313 Hockey podcast and represent the Seider family." End quote.
Beautiful quote. That's incredible.
It's almost as good as the other one.
I think it's going to be very exciting to hear his dad talk about that. And maybe we can get in touch with Mo himself and he can tell us all about his dad. You know what we should interview? We should interview Kay Seider about his son and then interview Mo about his
Mo
dad.
about his dad
You have a 1 in a million opportunity to interview
and his
Moritz
brother.
Sider, and the whole time you're asking about his dad and his brother.
That's right. That would be so funny.
I
Like,
would love that.
Moritz, how does it feel to be the child of the legendary Kay Sider?
Well, when you scored that goal, but we're not talking about the goal. Your dad went and celebrated like crazy. What did you think about your dad's celebrations?
Right. I want to know.
Is your dad like LeVar Ball?
Moritz Sider's dad definitely went to Ball So Hard University. I don't know how I could translate that joke to him.
Do you remember like what's his name, Lonzo Ball, and like that whole family? We need a family like that in the hockey world. We need like the Stahl dad, like Eric Stahl's dad, to come on and just like start spewing shit. Or the Hughes boys. The Hughes boys have a dad, right? Yeah,
they have a dad.
He can come on there and start like maybe she can come on and be like outspoken. We need more outspoken people in hockey. We need more like obnoxious people.
Well, Brad Marchand.
No, okay, that's the thing is I think he has value for that reason.
Yeah.
He's a villain. People can hate him.
That's very true. Anyway.
I think we need more of that. I actually have a question for you.
Yes.
Have you looked at the recent draft lottery odds?
Stop.
Not looking good. Not looking good.
Remember when Nick Albergo was like, you ever search your name up on Twitter? And I was like, absolutely fucking not. It gave me the same sensation of looking up the draft lottery odds.
As of today, we have a 3.5% chance of winning the Bedard sweepstakes. But if I sim the lottery on Tankathon, nope, not that one.
We're not tanking. We beat the Bruins
today. That one's not good. Hold on, I'm going to keep simming until I get what I want.
Okay, cool.
Oh, yes! Detroit picked first overall, second Anaheim, third Columbus, and fourth San Jose. So Chicago drops out of the top 4. This is literally the best case scenario.
Wow, because that's then you delusion world.
This right here,
Jake,
this is...
you're gone. We lost you. I hope you have your passport because you are in delusion world. You're gone.
It'll be okay. Do you know who Matvei Michkov is?
The guy who's a generational talent in the KHL who likely is hanging out in Russia for a little bit and would need time but could easily enter the league. Kaprizov, Panarin, Tier, and become something even better. That guy?
Yeah, that guy.
I've heard of him.
I think that he's going to drop in the draft lottery because 1, people are scared of Russians, and 2, people are wondering whether or not he's going to come over from the KHL. But
he's stuck.
If a team like the Detroit Red Wings draft him, if a team like the Red Wings...
Wait, I'm so sorry for interrupting you. That was my ADHD brain. Have you seen Handmaid's Tale?
I've read the book.
Okay, this is like when June goes out with the airplane with all the kids. That's going to be us when we go to Russia and pick up Michkov and Puchelnikov and rescue them.
Listen, Chris Ilitch, Steve Yzerman, since I know you're listening to this, hire us to go to Russia. We don't know how to speak the language, but Maddie can speak a couple languages and get us out of the situation.
My brother speaks Russian.
I'm pretty funny, so I can make jokes.
But you're gay.
Oh, fuck.
I know.
Well, okay, cool. I'll be like a good distraction. I'll be like, "Hey," and then the Russians will be like, jail. "We need to stop him." If I need to go to Gulag so that we can get
Puchelnikov out of Russia, I offer 1 Jake Rivard. Or no, you receive one gay boy. American. We receive 2 generational talents.
I think if we don't win the draft lottery, which we did according to Tankathon, after I simmed it 4 times, I think we should get Matvei Michkov. I think he'd be a really good pick. And if he pans out, it'll take him a couple years.
You want him over Bedard?
Well, if we don't win first overall pick.
Oh, I thought that's what we were discussing.
No. I mean, it's like, Bedard no matter what, if you win first. So I guess I shouldn't even be entertaining Matvei Michkov because we're going to be winning the draft lottery.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Wait, did you see the video of, speaking of Bedard, the video of him, and he has, he's walking for this thing for, indigenous kids playing hockey, and all the guys before him come out and they all, do, the little handshakes, and he walks by and he, puts his arms in the air so nobody can touch him and walks by all the kids.
That's so strange.
I know, it's crazy.
I kind of feel for the kid, though, this kid's been a celebrity since he was 12. He's literally never had a normal life. Okay, but he doesn't
have to snub all those.
You have to be a dick, yeah.
Yeah, that's just fucked up.
Yeah, I don't want him to be weird. I saw a video where like a girl asked him to like,
Yeah, be his prom date.
yeah, and he's like, and the girl, the mom was like, say yes, say
I
yes.
know. No, for that one, I actually felt really bad and weird for him, but this is, I don't know. I don't know, man. Of course, we only see that little bit of the video, but
Of course.
sure.
Somebody won a T-shirt, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. Some chick won a t-shirt. I'm really jealous, actually. I guess I could get
That's a
one for
pretty dope
myself.
shirt.
That's a fucking dope shirt. That's why I was like, we should give this away. So congrats. And now we are 50-ish followers away from 1,000 on Twitter. So thank you, everyone.
For anybody that doesn't remember, when we reach 1,000 followers on Twitter, Maddie will finally answer the question of fuck, marry, kill. Steve Yzerman, Nick Lidstrom, Henrik Zetterberg.
Is that what it was?
That's what it was.
Fuck. I've been delaying this for months, and that day might come soon.
I was gonna say we could get one with I was trying to think of like wholesome athletes that you love, but
you could do, if you want to really fuck with me,
Shaq, Matt Stafford,
Yep.
and
who else do I love?
I don't want to say Bo Jackson.
Why?
Because I've seen that 30 for 30 now, and I understand. I'm enlightened.
Wait, why don't you want to say him then?
I didn't know if he fits under the wholesome athlete.
I guess he's not wholesome, but I do
yeah.
love him. I think he's a legend. I don't even know if Matt Stafford is wholesome, but I also love him. I know, I gotta think about it. Barry Sanders is a little bit wholesome. He's a nice guy.
Jalen Ramsey just got traded, by the way.
What? Oh, wait, no, that happened earlier. I saw that already.
Yeah, he's going to Miami.
I saw that.
Okay. I thought that was something more exciting. All right.
Sorry.
Hi, 313 Lucky. We love you.
Bye.
Bye. Everett, if you're hearing this, I really hope that you put that new music in. Instead of,
in the Detroit.
Yeah. Okay, take care. Bye, guys.